Hello, everyone. We want to welcome you back to K&J What 5HT channel, where we talk about world issues, health, academia, and times. We've been trying to get this equipment up and running. We had to upload some new software, so we've kind of been missing in action a little bit. Hopefully, we can move through or move forward with what we've been attempting to do on this channel here, which is to engage with all our listeners and make sure everyone come out with something that really helps them moving forward in life. Yeah, so tonight is going to be an interesting topic. Kind of want to talk about illusions, partially deceptions. So we're gonna do this now. A lot of times, I tell you now, sometimes we be a little edgy. You don't have to agree with us all the time. We like for you to comment though, like, subscribe, hit that notification button, so you can get all our new posts whenever we post. You'll know right away. Lately, we've been kind of working hard at this, so that we can move forward with what we feel that we've been commissioned to do here. And like I say now, a lot of our topics might be a little edgy, but I just need you to remember, like I said before, all conflict is not bad conflict. We just have to deal with it on the front end. Yep, no man just wake up and want to do right. God has to draw him. That's how this works. Same thing in myself. This doesn't exclude anyone. All of us included in this. For being man and human is to be fallible. But we try and strive to do all the right things to become a better person. So tonight, it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be pretty interesting here. I know we've been engaging in a lot of stuff. A lot of people always, you see a lot of politics. People talk politics a lot, and they seem not to agree sometimes, and it's all right to not agree on all things. I mean, we all different people. We all think different, feel different. We treat things different. So it's going to be a difference in our thoughts and the way we move forward. But my thing is, don't be so critical of someone else's belief or thought or ideology. Don't be so critical to where it makes you to where you don't want to deal with a person or don't want to talk to a person, whether it's a friend or family member. This thing has become really intense in the last couple of years. I see if I don't affiliate with your particular party or your particular group, then some kind of way, you want to cancel me. You don't want to deal with me anymore. You don't care to talk to me anymore. So if we keep doing that, can you imagine what kind of world we're going to be living in? I mean, that's tragic. That's on its way to a real tragic end. And that's not what we're aiming for here. We're aiming for unity. We're trying to come together. We're bringing this thing together. We want to dialogue. We want to talk about our differences. We want to see how we can come together and bridge a gap once again between these generations, man. This generational gap is just really big. You got baby boomers thinking one way. You got Gen X thinking a whole nother way. And then all of a sudden you got these millennials and Gen Z. They on a whole new thing. And what we need to do is understand each other. Remember what I said about that oven and that microwave, that conventional oven and microwave, how they coexist in the same kitchen? Each one of them do their part. That's what we need to find ourselves doing as people and these generations. I mean, we living in a time of a 24/7 world, whereas I lived in a time when the world had a time when it shut down. So maybe when it shut down, we had time to think. We had time to process. This generation doesn't quite even have time to process because the information is coming so fast and so rapid, and you're being bombarded, with all kind of propaganda. Most propaganda, I'm gonna tell you what most propaganda is based off perception. It's however you perceive it. And some of it, in most cases, is going to be deception, especially if a man is what? If he isn't drawn by God. Here we go again. Oh man, I know. No, well, the Bible was written by a white man. We love to say that. The Bible was written by a white man. So you tell me, how did you derive to that conclusion? What made you come to that conclusion? I'm gonna tell you another book that we can say that was written by, quote unquote, the white man. The English book was written by a white man, but we speak English. Math books mostly was written and edited by white men. We still use math. And then I would contest that anyway, but that's not what we're here for tonight. We'll find another night for that. And I think I'm kind of in a place where I can protest that. Just a little bit more about me. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I happen to have a degree in biblical studies. That's not what I'm here about. I also have certifications in a lot of things because, as I told you, I find myself since a child being an observer, and I process, I listen, and then I draw my conclusion. But I give everything and every source at least a chance and give it my ear. And if I don't agree with you, I don't lay you aside. I don't cast you away. And in this time and day now, that's what we're all about, casting away if I don't agree with you. And that's fine. But how far is that going to take us as a people trying to unite and come together? And another thing, I don't want to always get caught up in this identity thing, you know. I don't want to make it all such black and white. But in reality, we do live in that world and a system where sometimes we have to challenge the black and white. But there's a way to challenge that too. I want y'all to listen to something right quick. When I show you something, I'm not actually pushing a particular agenda. It's just something maybe that I hear or something that I see that may help to make a little sense to me, and something that maybe I can use to make myself that better person. So I want you to just check this clip out. And a lot of people are familiar with this guy, Muhammad Ali. I'm not trying to push nobody to be a Muslim, just like I'm not going to try to push you to be a Christian. You be what you want to be. Once again, myself, I'm a follower of the Most High God. I'm a believer in the scripture and his truth. That's it. That's where I stand. You might stand somewhere else. Now, we know that Muhammad Ali was viewed as maybe, I would say, a talker. He agitated people a lot, but he spoke his mind. He spoke what he felt. And that's all I want you to I want you to listen to something, especially when it comes to government and the way we treat it today. Listen to this clip.
White man 50 years ago told my granddaddy that when my daddy got free, things would be better. When he got grown. Now my daddy's grown. Somebody told my daddy that when I got grown, things would be better. Now I'm grown. Now I have the white boy today telling me that when my children get grown, things will be better. So they'll see that this is just the old trick. Black people, you notice, didn't vote for no president's holiday this year because every 4 years it's a new trick, a new phony fake image, and they have given up today. They want to do it themselves. They want to go for self. They want to pool together and unite like the Jews did. At one time, Jews and dogs wasn't allowed on Miami Beach, and the Jews got mad and united and bought Miami Beach. So this is what they want to do today. You understand?
Okay. Yeah. Process that. He said a whole lot. But just process it. First of all, what I got out of that was a lot of unfulfilled promises. He went through a couple of generations. He went through past generation, GG, which is a great generation from 1901 to 1927. And Ali himself, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was born in the what we call the SG generation, the Silent Reserve. I think he was born in 1942. The Silent Reserve generation comes from 1928 to 1945. And he spoke of his grandfather being promised something, then his father being promised the same thing. And then again, he was promised this same thing about his kids. So now what we went through at that particular time, we went through just about 4 generations. From 1901, we can say up to 1965 or even 1980. We went through some generations of promises that was not fulfilled. So this is what I get out of that. When a government that we do have to have, we need to keep a civil society. We do need a government, but you have to understand something. You have to understand the agenda of that particular government. They have an agenda. And sometimes you might fit in it and you may not. But you have to figure out a way. He spoke of all those unfulfilled promises that was promised to at that particular time when he was around. He used to always use the term the so-called Negro. So that's who it was promised to. But then he brought up another group of people. He brought up a group of people. He said something about the Jewish people. Notice what they did. So in other words, they were being put in a position to where they felt like they were being robbed of a certain right. And it might seem to be a pretty small thing. He said something about being on Miami Beach and walking the dog, and then they told him that was against the law and they couldn't walk their dog on the beach. They didn't jump and round and holler and scream and go somewhere and roll over. What they decided to do was pull together, came up with a plan, because they intended on walking on Miami Beach with their dog. So they decided that they'll just buy Miami Beach. Okay, I think that was a pretty good. That was pretty good thinking right there. I mean, they used something that worked for them at that particular time. They didn't fight, they didn't argue, they didn't fuss, but what they did was they used a certain power. We're gonna say right now, money, currency. They use that money. They use that dollar, which the government needs to exist. You see how they did that? They knew what game they were playing. So they played the game. And they played the games within the rules of the game, and it worked out in their favor. Now, when it comes to the community that I come from, we do a lot of protesting, and a lot of it worked. You know, a lot of the protesting worked. But one of the guys that did the protesting to get all these quote unquote rights and civil rights, I'm gonna say it again, MLK, and then he marched and marched and marched, and he got all these rights. But at the same time, that government that pumps him up today, they had him listed as one of the number one enemies to America. They actually was pushing that he was a communist. But anyway, he kept with what he wanted and what he thought would work, which was these peaceful marches, which I still don't understand today. And I know for a fact that the millennials and Gen Z, they really don't understand. It's like, how could you march and allow people to do all those atrocities and do all those things to you, and you did nothing to retaliate? Well, that was his way. In some kind of way, it pegged out. It worked out for him. It worked out for him. So what do we do now when we march? Okay, we march, we get upset, we burn, we tear down, we destroy, and we go home. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. The Jewish people, what they used brought about a change. What Martin used brought about a change. Can we come up with a concept or an ideal that we might push that will actually bring change? Because the change that we push for, other people today benefit off it. We got groups of people that it wasn't even intended for. Civil rights wasn't even intended for. Groups of people that come in right now today and benefit off it. You can get a person from a whole different country, whole different nationality, culture and all, come and do those same marches with a flag that come from where they came from. And these things happen to work. And what do? Or what do? We sympathize, we empathize, and I get it, it's fine. And we get out there and we march also. It's really not our fight anymore. We need to figure out something else. What we did was pave a way for other people to benefit. Now we need to try something that's going to work. Because what we've been doing, it hasn't been working. And why hasn't it been working? It's because of a lack of education. We're dealing with academia now. What we're being taught, what we believe, who's teaching us, and beyond. Even when it comes to the school system. The school system. I probably said it, but I'm going to say it again. If you send your kids to Caesar to be taught, don't feel bad or be surprised, I'll say, when he come back acting like a Roman. That's just normal. The teaching comes from within the house. It's the household. Remember? Charity starts at home and then it spreads abroad. Let's get the home in shape. Our homes are tore up. We can blame that on, quote unquote, a government also, which in some cases is true. It's true. I get it. But what I want is I want my Gen Z and I want my millennials to see and know something. That at one time there was a drive, there was an agenda. We were focused. Now it's I get it. We angry. It could be because of a number of things. And the church. I have to say something about the church. Because that's where most of the baby boomers found their comfort. And that's where they found, I say, a place where they thought they had a sense of direction and what to do and where to go and where to believe. But the church has become a business now. It's a business. Just think about it. You see churches on every corner in the community that I'm talking about. And these vast, big churches and people attend them and they continue to grow and flourish and all that. But nothing happens in the communities. The community continue to diminish. And then you got people saying, they call it the hood. That's the hood. That's the ghetto. That's the hood. And that ghetto word got a lot on it. The ghetto actually it derives from Nazism. Back in the Nazi days when Hitler did whatever he did. The ghetto was a resting place. It was a resting place, one of the final resting place before they sent the people that they call the Jewish people off to their death. They was placed in the ghetto, and from the ghetto, they went to the gas chamber. So whenever we say we in the ghetto, we one step away from the gas chamber. One step away from the gas chamber. So, and having said that, we're going to talk about something else too. But I just wanted to drive that home, and I wanted you to know something that you can. They say it's a separation of church and state. A separation of church and state. Well, we got to understand that right too. See, a lot of times we say stuff and we don't really understand what's going on with it or what it means. So we want to say that the church has nothing to do with the government, but I can tell you, who we call Jesus, who I call Yahshua or Yahweh, he had dealing with the government. And then he was asked a question one time by a group of people that was probably a part of the government. See, everybody that's in the government is not God driven. They say they believe in a God, but their God is money. Their God is mammon. And they're going to take money over men every time. Deal with it. That's where we are. How do we fix it? And see, I just want to read something for you right quick. I'm going to read something from Scripture. I know you say it's the white man book. We're going to deal with that one day. I'm going to show you something. Okay, I'm reading out of Matthew 21. And I'm going to read from 16, I'll say that to 21. There's Matthew 22. I recant that. It's Matthew, the 22nd verse, from 16 to 21. And they say, and they sent unto him their disciples, which were the Herodians, saying, Master, talking about Jesus or Yeshua, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us, therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give unto Caesar or not? But Jesus or Yeshua perceived their wickedness and said, why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Call these guys a group of hypocrites. Show me the tribute of money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he said unto them, who is this image and subscription? And they say unto him, Caesar. And he said unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar, and unto God the things which are God. Why did I say that? Because Ali said something about every 4 years they give us this person or they give us this image. Here we go again. Caesar, image, perception, deception, image. That's what this is all about. They brought him money. Who was on the money? A man. Well, you render that to him. But God, you belong to God. Everything you do, life was given to you through that. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I'm going to tell you something. We can go a long way if we think like that Jewish man that went and bought Miami Beach and then took his dog and walked his dog on the beach, something that he said was unlawful and something that was told that he couldn't do. And now he can do it whenever he get ready. He knew the game and he played the game right. Let's get on point. Yeah, let's get on point. Let's get on point. I got something else I'm gonna share, but I'm gonna share it with you in my next post, because I want to tie all this in together. So you just remember what Ali said, what we just talked about, and I'm gonna show you something else going into our next post. But until then, what I'm asking you to do is just, like I say, like, subscribe, comment, say something, say it. I can handle it. Me and Kay, we can handle that. We got it. So just say something and hit that notification button, because we're going to be coming back at you again. We're going to be coming back at you again real soon. I know we've been kind of away for a minute, but like I said, we've been doing a lot of techno stuff and engineering and trying to get this thing right so we can make sure we come to you and come to you properly. So, until then, All I got to say is to you, stay tuned for the next one, man. Stay tuned for the next one, because I'm going to come back at you, and I think I'm gonna roll on in a little bit deeper. You going to mind, or you don't mind. What's up? All I got to say is what the flux. I'm out of here.